Another day, another Dollar Business crew, welcome back. We're continuing on with the discussion about multi-level marketing and how useless and obsolete the system is and how many people get burnt by it and how there are so many elements and characteristics to it which are so obviously bad that, as I said at the beginning, if you think you're going to be a winner by being involved in multi-level marketing, then seriously you're a loser. So if the first part wasn't enough to convince you about the obsoleteness of the system, the unfairness of the system, and the irrelevance of the system to the normal individual, well, that's all right. I've got a whole heap more information which I will provide for you. Now, it's not just my own opinion that multi-level marketing is bad. Well, bad, that it's not appropriate for most people. But it is also the opinion of the promoters of multi-level marketing that it's actually bad. In fact, they know that the people who they're trying to convince to become part of the system are going to be told that the system is bad. Because I remember being introduced or being invited to a number of presentations over time, and I remember one of the things that each of these presentations incorporates is that, so let's pretend I'm the presenter here, the promoter. Now, what's going to happen is that you are going to be told by many people that this is not good, that you're wasting your time, you're not going to make money out of this, those people are losers, they have no idea, they're very negative, you need to avoid these people. Well, that's not quite true. It's because that anyone with a little bit of a brain, some working cells in their brain, will realize that multi-level marketing is not something where individuals will make money. So if my friend is to join a multi-level marketing system and they're going to be asking me about what my opinion is, then I'm going to highlight the problems with the system, and I'm going to be negative about it, and I'm going to explain to them how they are going to be wasting a lot of their time and they're not going to be making much money at all, certainly not the amount of money that they should make based on the time, effort and expenses involved in promoting and distributing the products. Now, it's not because I'm negative, it's not because I'm not proactive, it's not because I'm a loser, it's not because I don't have any willpower to be successful. It's none of that. It's because I'm pretty smart and I've analysed the system and I know it's bad, right? So I guess it's a little bit like a drug dealer trying to sell drugs to the kids, and the drug dealer will say, listen, don't tell whatever you do, don't tell your parents that you're taking these things, because your parents, they're old fogies, they don't know how to have fun, and they're going to say the drugs are bad because they don't understand it. And so if the child or whoever it is, if the adolescent goes to the parents and says, look, I've been offered drugs, then the parents will obviously flip and will say how bad they are and how don't touch them and so forth. And that guy will think, oh Jesus, that the dealer, who's such a really good guy, he was right. Because he knows that drugs are bad, and he knows that a normal person will be very negative against drugs. That's why the promoters and presenters of multi-level marketing, that's why they are telling you up front that you're going to be receiving a lot of negativity, because they know, because they know how bad the system is, but it's in their interest to get you on board because they have a financial interest. They are already part of the system. They have already devoted a lot of their time, a lot of their resources, a lot of their energy, a lot of their money in the system, and so they need suckers to help get them out. And so they are going to tell you whatever they need to take to get you involved, because they want to scrape those extra few dollars out now that they're already in, if that makes sense. So that's something that's commonly encountered, that yes, you are going to be hearing negative things about multi-level marketing. Well, obviously, just like you're going to hear negative things about cigarettes and about drugs, because they're bad, okay? They're bad. So that's another reason. That's another reason, or another factor that you should consider, that these people are already warning you that you're going to have problems and issues and negativity and advice not to join. Now, what I also have encountered in my experiences with multi-level marketing, because once you break through and once you explain all these different weaknesses of the system, then ultimately when there is no comeback to that, these individuals, even the suckers who are already in and they're trying to now justify that they have made the right decision to join the system, is that, well, but the products are good. Well, look, okay, what you're saying is fair enough. Well, I'm not actually not in it to make the money. I'm not in it to make money. I'm actually in it because I can have access to products at a cheaper price than, and these products are really good, and so by being involved, by joining the system, I can get a cheaper price. Oh boy. Okay. Once again, I'm going to say something which probably most of you don't know. The products which are sold by multi-level marketing firms are not any better than the products which you can purchase through your traditional means, your traditional sources, shops basically, right? A company such as Amway or Herbalife or whatever it may be, they do not produce their own products. They get these products produced for them. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, don't quote me with Herbalife, and also don't quote me that this applies to every single product that every single multi-level marketing company supplies. There may be very specific circumstances in which very large organizations will in fact produce their own products. But to be able to manufacture your own product, you have to be damn big. You have to be financially strong, because you need to have the research and development team. You obviously need time to invest in making these products. You need a manufacturing plant, you need the machinery, you need the whole infrastructure, which costs millions if not billions of dollars. You can imagine that most of these companies certainly don't have that sort of money, particularly the new ones, the revolutionary ones which keep popping up. They have products made and branded in their own brand. It is exactly the same as what Aldi does. It's exactly the same what Lidl does. It's exactly the same as what most supermarket chains do with their home branded products. Because multi-level marketing firm X is not large enough, is not financially strong enough to be able to produce, manufacture, research, design, develop, and distribute a whole heap of different products. Just like Aldi is not strong enough financially, lucrative enough even though Aldi's a multi-billion-dollar company, they can't produce their own biscuits and lollies and chips and detergents, and they don't need to. What these companies do, these companies go to the actual manufacturer of cosmetics, of shampoos, of detergents, of chemicals, of health foods, whatever it may be, biscuits, drinks, whatever it is. They will go there and they will say, we would like to order certain products with our own branding, with our own label, perhaps according to our specifications, like it may be a particular drink which is normally sold in orange, but they want it to be different, so they might put a different dye in it. Or it might be detergent, and they'll say, look, can you please perfume the detergent in this type of perfume so it actually smells different to a competing brand, and so forth. Okay? It's that simple. That's what they do, right? So that's what the actual company is. They source these products from a manufacturer that produces whatever it produces, and then they just put their own labels and they just distribute these products through personal selling. But the difference is that Aldi does it obviously on a mass scale. They go to the manufacturer will then send the products to the warehouse, and then from the warehouse it gets distributed to the individual stores and then gets sold to the public. Very efficient way of doing it. Very efficient way of doing it. Manufacturer, warehouse, retail store, public. Multi-level marketing, it's different. With multi-level marketing, you've got the manufacturer, you've got the multi-level marketing firm, and then you've got the many layers of distributors that handle individual items. So logistically it's inefficient, it's very inefficient, and it's also costly. Why? Because if you've ever heard a presentation about how you make money in a multi-level marketing firm, so I've heard these presentations, the guy will say, listen, this is such a good system because look, for every sale that you make, you will obviously make money from the sale that you make. And then if you introduce somebody, then you'll make, and if they make a sale, then not only will they get paid, but you'll also get a commission. And if they then introduce somebody, you're going to make. So I'm listening, and he's saying, look, so, and he's talking about all these different levels below me that will make money. So I'm thinking, on the one hand, I'm thinking, well, that's, he's getting all excited how much money I'm making. I'm thinking, man, how expensive do these products have to be when there are so many costs involved, and there are so many levels of costs that have to be covered. So that's the other thing. Not only, now I've proved to you, no, these products are no better. That shampoo that you've purchased from multi-level marketing firm X is no better than the shampoo that you can purchase perhaps at a discount supermarket. Because most probably it was made by the same manufacturer. My dad used to work in a manufacturing plant that used to make paper products. They made tissues and toilet rolls, all sorts of toilet products. And it's not that he told me and all of a sudden I know. I knew about this anyway, but he actually gave me specific examples of how they would make the same, say, toilet paper, but they would then package it in different packages based on where it's going to go. So they had their own premium branding, and the company, I'm not going to keep any secrets here. It was Sorbent and Lady Scott. It was the company I'm talking about used to be called Bowater and Scott. Then they changed themselves to Bowater. Then they were Carter Holt Harvey because they were taken over. Anyway, whatever. Manufacturer X. They produced toilet paper or tissues, but they used to brand them and package them in different brands and then send them off, and obviously different prices. because, for example, one toilet paper was scented and then the other one wasn't scented. This one had 3 plies, whereas this one had 2 plies, so it was obviously cheaper. This one had thicker packaging with more colour in it. This one had thinner packaging with less colour in it, so that made it cheaper. But it came out of the same factory, it came out of the same machinery. But it was sold in the same supermarket under 3 or 4 different brands, okay? So that's exactly the same with multi-level marketing firm. Believe me, these products are sourced from the one manufacturing plant. So that shampoo, which all of a sudden, like you've never considered that shampoo ever before. You've never ever considered that particular brand of washing detergent. You've never ever considered this particular brand of health food. But now that you've been sucked into this system, all of a sudden you're a big fan. You're a big fan of this brand. All of a sudden, Normally, if I'm really keen on something, right, I would have done the research beforehand, and then I try to access it. Whereas these people who are they're kidding themselves. These losers who can't accept that they've screwed up, once they become part of the system, they're now trying to find justifications for justifying the fact that they are in the system. After they consider they're not making money, they're now trying to convince, themselves or others that it's the products that they're after, not even understanding or realising that they're paying a premium price for the product, and the product is pretty much exactly the same as the product they can get somewhere else, which they wouldn't even think about. But I just can't see myself being such a crazy fan of a particular detergent or a particular health food or a particular brand of cereal or a particular shampoo that I would all of a sudden join a multi-level marketing firm just so I could get access to it. But anyway, whatever. Look, it's all crap. Everything about it is crap, as you can see. But okay, so just to go on, the products that these firms get you to distribute are not going to be any different than the products which are available on the market. So these aren't new and revolutionary products. They're not, believe me, they're not, okay? They're just branded differently. These products are going to be more expensive. So if you really, really love this perfume, if you really, really love this detergent, or maybe just do a little bit of research and find out where this detergent was actually produced and under what brands you can also get this detergent, and then you can access it at a cheaper price just by going to the supermarket, which you go to anyway, right? And it will be cheaper price because one of the advantages of joining a multi-level marketing firm, as said by the promoters, is that large supermarkets have got all these overheads. They employ so many people, they've got insurance, they've got all this lighting, and they've got to pay rent for the retail stores. That's all true. But what they don't say is that there's only a small level of middlemen that it goes through. Manufacturer, warehouse, and then out into retail. And they deal with massive quantities, which makes the logistics very efficient, and as a result the distribution, getting it from manufacturer to the final consumer, is very quick and is very cheap to do, because it's a very streamlined process. As technology is improving, the process is even more streamlined and it's quicker and it's cheaper. Whereas multi-level marketing, well, we're going back 50 years ago, where you have to make an order, and then you have to wait for the order to come through to your distributor, and then your distributor has to deliver it to you. So you can imagine it's just for 1 or 2 products. It's time consuming. Oh yeah, and by the way, 20 different levels of people have to get paid for it. So there you go. Now hopefully that should make you consider things a little bit more. Now, but I haven't finished there. There's still even a few more reasons that you should consider, that you should notice, which work against multi-level marketing firms. So at this stage, I should have pretty much wiped away most arguments and justifications about the benefits of multi-level marketing, network marketing. But if you're still desperate enough to cling on to something, you might say to me, all right then, if you're so smart, then what about all the people making money out of it? Well, my question is, which people are they? Which people are the ones that are making money out of it? If you are part of the system, most probably you yourself don't have access to those people. One thing I also noticed when I was asked to join or when I was invited to presentations was that the person who brought me in, well, he didn't have much money. Easy, because he wasn't in it for a long time. That's what they say. Oh, because he's only been fairly recent. But you'll see, in next year he's going to be driving a Porsche. All right. What about the guy above him then? Well, yeah, he's only beginning as well. All right. So, based on my experience, and I've got a bit of experience in this, just through research, the people who you will be specifically dealing with and have access to, they are not going to be making much money. Am I correct? The people who you've had physical contact with, I'm not even going to ask what sort of car they drive, because the car can be leased and they could be up to the hilt in debt, right? But most probably it won't be a Porsche and it won't be a sports Mercedes. But even if it is, for some reason, which suburb do they live in? How big is their house? How often do they go on holidays? How nice are their teeth? What kind of furniture do they have? Is it IKEA furniture or is it really nice and elegant? Do they have a swimming pool? In other words, can you actually see the wealth that people keep talking about? Because I know that in presentations you see all these pictures of huge cars, long cars, big cars, sports cars, fast cars, beautiful women or beautiful cars, fast women, mansions, palm trees. Yeah, you see all that on the big screen as part of the presentation. Yeah, so. But have you actually met that guy? I mean, are you friends with him? Do you have access to that person? What about the people you've got access to? The people number of levels above you? The money is just not there. The money is just not there. In fact, some of these guys, like I said before, if you think you're going to be a winner, you're a loser. But, I mean, a loser is one thing, being a loser. But being a loser, but trying to make yourself out to a winner, that's even worse, because you look like an idiot. You look like an idiot. I remember there was one time, years and years ago, I was a youngster, I went to McDonald's, just, when I was a teenager or whatever, we're hanging out with mates, went to McDonald's, and then and there was about 30 or 40 suits at McDonald's, all dressed up in suits and stuff. I just said to myself, I've got to speak to these, what's going on here? All these suits and ties, women dressed up well. I just said, oh, hi, what's up? What do you do? Are you guys, I just thought they were part of McDonald's, I said, do you work for McDonald's? Oh, no, we work for Network 21. Anyway, it's a multi-level marketing firm. After I spoke to the person, I found that it was basically Amway. It was Amway under a different name, because these multi-level marketing firms have been around for a considerable amount of time. They've burnt so many people along the way that they actually changed the name. That should be something else that you should also consider as well. That why would these organisations, change names or work under different names or whatever? And that's just bad. That's just, obviously trying to hide something. Because I can't see Rolls-Royce pretending to be another brand, because just so people don't associate their car with the Rolls-Royce. So they build this amazing, the latest edition Rolls-Royce, but they don't call it a Rolls-Royce, they call it some new brand. Why would you do that? I mean, I know that the Chinese are actually copying Rolls-Royces, and ideally they would like to be, but they can't. Because Rolls-Royce has a particular brand, has a particular prestige, and most companies that have a good reputation, their brand is actually a non-financial asset, which can be worth sometimes more than the company itself, like Coca-Cola is worth more than actual physical assets. It's the brand. Whereas you get multi-level marketing firms actually try to hide their brand. But once again, most people don't think about that, they don't notice that. So anyway, these guys look like clowns. they look like bozos. You know, they're there with the suit and tie, you know, professional, you know, business people, and they're sitting there, you know, at McDonald's eating their cheeseburgers, and they're having a business meeting at McDonald's. Oh man, how bad does that look? People of success, people of wealth, they don't have business meetings at McDonald's, for crying out loud. I mean, wake up, idiots, wake up. Big and successful companies, which a lot of these companies will say to you during the presentation, we are big, you know, we've been around, we're a multi-billion-dollar company, we're this, and they're going to put the statistics that the second biggest in the world, or the biggest in this region, the fastest growing, blah, 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 you know, the millions of dollars, and all these fast cars will come out, the pictures of houses and so forth. They are telling that to the individuals who had to pay $2 or $5 to join the presentation. When I was invited by a stooge to join Amway, I think it was, he invited me, picked me up. I think he drove 30 kilometres. It doesn't matter how many, he just happened to do 30 kilometres to pick me up, and then we drove another 40 kilometres somewhere else. So he did 70 kilometres, poor guy. I mean, it could have been 5 kilometres, but it doesn't matter, okay? But, you know, the time, the effort, you know, because he wanted to get me involved, because he was told, was given all these promises, and he paid for me and my girlfriend at that stage. He paid for both of us. Because I said to him, I said, listen, come and join this, let's hear this out, this is going to be a classic. Because I wanted to get her involved in business, I wanted to teach her about business, so this was a really good opportunity to actually scrutinise Amway. And he actually paid for us, you know, to enter the venue, you know, just to hear a presentation. I mean, you know, show a bit of class, guys. I mean, seriously, show a bit of class. On the one hand, if you're explaining that you're a multi-billion-dollar company, and then you're extracting $5 or $10 to join a presentation in a hired hall, I mean, it's just ridiculous. You just don't do that. You know, I was bagging the workforce in the previous episode. You know how bad it is to be in the workforce, to be an employee. But many organisations, particularly the larger ones, the more prestigious ones, they will pay for various things for their workers. You know, Friday night drinks, or maybe once in a while they'll organise a Christmas party at the expense of the company. You know, we all bag about how bad the employment system is and how you're being, you know, how you're being cheated, how you're being, and yeah, and a lot of that's actually correct, that you're being taken advantage of, and so forth and so on. Yeah, but in a multi-level marketing firm, they don't even pay for that, right? The other thing, now that we're talking about how they present themselves, notice that, which is obvious, they will present only the positives. Once again, it's obvious, right? Obvious. How good their products are, how in demand they are, how many sales they make, how they've grown, how big they are, what the value of the company is, and so forth. Correct? Right? You've heard about it, I've heard about it, we've all heard about it, how big these companies are. Because that's it's a way of entice. They'll pull out all these statistics about what their market share is, that they've been growing the market share the fastest, and so forth. One statistic which they will not give you, which they have, obviously they have, if they know what percentage of market share they have. That's pretty deep research, because you've got to research the whole market, look at your competitors. They will know how many people they employ. They have to know, because each person registers, you know, for taxation purposes. They know. They also know how many people extend their membership or follow on the next year, the year after, the year after. You will not find that out. They're not going to tell you that. You may ask, they are not going to tell you that. Why? Such a successful company, you know, such a great, everyone can make money, it's so easy to make money, the way that they're explaining it to you. They spend hours explaining to you how great the company is, what good products are, how you can make money, how everyone makes money, blah, blah, blah. So you'd think that you'd have a very low turnover. You'd think that once a person joins, they're going to be staying with this company for life. Fair enough. Show me the statistics. What's the truth? Because it's easy to sucker, you know, most people, because most people are dumb. Most people are dumb. I mean, you might agree, you might disagree, you might think I'm harsh, you might think I'm an asshole. I'm old enough and experienced enough to know that most people are dumb, right? So yeah, it's quite easy to sucker people in the organisation the first time by making all these promises. But even the idiot will realise after a while, hang on, I'm actually worse off than I was before. I'm more tired, I'm driving around my car, everywhere talking to people. I'm losing friends don't want to hang with me anymore. My parents are getting pissed off at me, and my cousins and my uncles are sick of me. So eventually you'll know. So after a while, after a year, you'll just think, well, you'll quit. Because the reality is going to hit. You can justify your situation. You can try to explain to yourself that maybe it's all it's just the beginning, and it's going to get better. And it's going to get better. But whether it's going to be 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, eventually you even the dumbest of dumb will realize that it's just not happening. It's just not, and they're going to leave. So these companies have these statistics, but they're not going to provide these statistics to you. Why? Because the statistics are bad. They're really bad. There's a very high turnover. They also know how much each distributor, how much money they earn. And so you can table that 80% of the distributors earn between $0 and $1,000 per year. 5% will earn between $1,000 and and so forth. So that you can table all these statistics. They're not going to show you those, because you're going to see that 95% of distributors will earn between $0 and $25,000, which obviously isn't a lot. That's 85% or 95, whatever. But out of that 95, like about 85 will earn between $0 and like $5,000. So, are you feeling lucky? Will you be one of those 85% that's going to earn between $0 and $5,000, or will you be one of the half a percent, in other words, 1 in 1,000, I think, based on my maths, which wasn't very good, that's going to be earning 100,000 plus? Well, how confident are you? I talked about the ability or the need to have a good distribution channel, because you are a distributor. That is the single most important point, the single most important characteristic or element to be successful in multi-level marketing. You have to be a good distributor. You have to have a good distribution channel. So you might say to me, well, hang on, I do have a good distribution channel. So in other words, this is the system for me. Yeah, well, perhaps. Certainly, it's more relevant to you than it is for the normal stooge. But then my question to you is, if you've got such a good distribution system, why are you joining effectively an organisation when you can just go to the manufacturer of whatever product, and because if you're so proactive, if you want to run your own business, why don't you just run your own business? If you are able to distribute hundreds of thousands of washing detergents, why don't you go to a washing detergent manufacturer and actually negotiate with them? They will sell you hundreds of thousands of products. They will do that. You can brand it under your own name. How cool would that be? Whatever your surname is, Smith Detergents. How cool is that? Your parents will certainly be proud. You're making your name famous. You make your own logo. You purchase from the manufacturer these products for a very cheap price, for a really low price, because you're effectively buying it directly from the distributor in large quantities, and then distribute away. How hard is that? Now, they will work with you on credit, because most companies do, right? Or even if not, then you can always beg, borrow, or steal the money from somewhere. You're not going to buy 100,000 straight away anyway. You might buy maybe 1,000 or 2,000 lots initially. So you'll be able to get the money in one way or another. But you get that money back because you're effectively going to be offloading it to your distribution channel, which you are so proudly advertising that you've got such a good distribution channel. So it's just a matter of you basically taking those goods and passing it on through to your buyers. So why would you get involved in a company that's going to give you crumbs to distribute their own products that have already incorporated a number of fees and distribution costs in it? You're only going to get crumbs out of it. It's not your brand. It's not your It's not your business. I told you that it's not your business because you are limited, you are restricted in what you can distribute, you are restricted in how much you can pay yourself, you're restricted in a lot of things. So why would you want to do all that if you're saying that you've got such a good distribution channel? Go to the manufacturer directly, buy the stuff, sell it off, design it as you want it, sell it off, and you make a bulk of the cash. How simple is that? How easy is that? So at the end of the day, even if you do have that critical element which is needed, that critical success factor, a good distribution channel, you can just go to the manufacturer itself. There are many manufacturers of perfumes, of detergents, of chemicals, of this, of drinks, whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? You can negotiate, you can ring one, you can ring another one, and so on, and they will then prepare the product for you, designed the way that you want it. Because it's just a matter of adding a little bit of perfume, or adding a bit of colour, or reducing the package, or making the package bigger, wider, different colour. It's just very easy to make it different. They've done all the research and development. You know, they've got all the paperwork for it. It's just yeah. All you're doing is just branding it. That's basically what it is. That's what multi-level marketing is all about. It's about taking an existing product, rebranding it, and then distributing it in an inefficient way, but in a way that's beautiful for the people on top. So if you want to make money out of multi-level marketing, start up your own multi-level marketing firm. There's an infinite amount of idiots and stooges walking around who will be suckered into the system. All you need to do is just make some bullshit promises, which these idiots won't even question. Make some nice brochures, put in some statistics, source products from a manufacturer already, and then just get yourself a whole heap of idiots, and then just transfer the whole risk to them, all of the risk to them. Okay, get an upfront payment from them, give them some samples, whatever, just to keep them quiet, throw in a couple of catalogues which you can mass print, and they're going to be doing the running around, they're going to be doing the negotiating, they're going to be doing the hassling, they're going to be doing the spruiking, the barking, the yelling and screaming, and if they don't sell your product, they're not going to get paid. But if they do, well, you're going to make money anyway, so just give them some crumbs. So that's the way to make money out of multi-level marketing. Start your own. Be the guy up on top, and then just hire a bunch of morons underneath you, and that's it. It's as easy as that. And then eventually the pictures which you'll be providing in the presentations will actually be the pictures of your house, of your car, of your lover, of your holiday snaps. So that's pretty much it, guys. So hopefully that's woken up some of you. I know that if you're particularly dumb, then you probably still don't get what I've just said, but that's okay. That's fair enough. Like I said, dumb people are actually pretty important as well, because dumb people provide entrepreneurs and proactive people the opportunity to use these dumb people, to make money. So like I said, they're obviously needed, particularly in multi-level marketing. We wouldn't have all these multi-level marketing firms if we didn't have all these morons, who go out there and distribute these products which you can buy and purchase from the supermarket. So and so we wouldn't have so many rich people around. So that's it. Please, tell me your experiences, and share this video if there is some moron out there who is trying to tell you or convince you how good the multi-level marketing system is. Well, I have pretty much provided a number of, I think, rock solid examples, arguments, which show you the issues involved with multi-level marketing, the strengths and the weaknesses. And as I said, there are certain strengths for it. The strengths are particularly for the people who are on top, because the risk of transferring these products or getting these products to the market actually fall onto the morons that distribute them. But there are many for the normal individual. Good luck, pretty much. Speak soon.